That's a yeehaw.
Yeah.
Hello, Gun Nation.
I haven't seen anybody get on the chat just yet. It does say 3 waiting, which is probably us.
Well, I know that we already had 1 thumbs down already today.
That perfect.
Holy mackerel!
Awesome, good stuff.
You've got a secret admirer.
Yeah, I got about 4 of them actually.
We all do, man. We all do.
Yeah, we got Jesus is God.
Hello, Jesus.
That's weird. My text to my chat isn't working. I'm gonna refresh here. There it
Craig's
is.
in the house. Sean.
There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello. Hey, look, KSGunguy on.
Hey.
I heard he's a douche.
He's an ass. I know the guy. He owes me $20.
20. He owes me 50.
I got $20. Come on, we got 6. I guess us 3 and 2 more.
We're really blowing it
I
up.
talked to the old Range is probably going to be on here too. You know, he changed his name.
Right.
I know.
John S is on. Hello, John S.
Jesus
Yeah,
left.
please like. I don't know who left the negative.
You're so nice. It was actually me. Big Daddy.
Big Daddy G.
Big Daddy G.
John S.
Going very well. How are you, John S?
Hello, John S.
We're just waiting for some more to jump on. It looks like some more are coming.
They're filing in the door as we speak.
Gerald, how's it going?
Gerald Weldon.
Daryl, teaching those young ladies how to shoot. That's awesome.
Let's see. Had an interesting debate with my boss the other day about what's stick and what's costume. So
stock and custom.
Stock and custom. Yeah, and Sean. So what was the final verdict on that? I'm curious. That's a great topic. I thoroughly enjoy that, and it has continued to garner some really good debate.
Oh yeah,
thank you, Big Daddy G, for welcoming me back. Appreciate that.
We missed him. We missed him.
I wish
like
I could
a wart.
say that was likewise.
Like a wart.
We know a lot about those, especially the ones that are on your genitals. Oh
wow. Boy, that
as the person who's talking into a Smurf dong.
Listen, don't hit the mic, man. This thing. Listen to the sound of my voice.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
Open your window and jump out.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I was gonna say that microphone's pretty crazy.
So Jesus is God is saying, let's talk about the Shh Act. We need to get silencers ASAP. I was reading about that as well. I mean, their gun stores are starting to say that some of the turnaround time for various types of paperwork is getting better. It's getting faster and more efficient, which is fantastic. So there might be some ramp up going on there. Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah,
we got Keenan. Bald and Curious is on.
I don't really care about the Silencer Act because I can't even get my guns within a reasonable time. So until they fix that problem, I don't care about anything else.
That's right. All right. So he was saying if it comes from a custom shop like a Shadow 2, it's not stock, it's custom. So yeah, that's, you know, it's a fine line. You know, is the Shadow 2 really, is it custom or is it stock? Because it is how CZ offers it out of the box, even if it comes from the custom shop. That's tough.
Well, I think the Shadow 2 is stock as it is because you can do other stuff to it to make it custom.
Okay. Okay.
As it currently comes in the box.
All right. So let's we're going to start off. We're going to answer fried chicken now first. And then we'll start off with our topic of the night. All right. So Fried Chicken Now is saying to us, do you think a CZP10 in subcompact or single stack version is on the way? That is, yes, it is. It has been confirmed. If you read your user's manual, it even says they have magazines for an S version, meaning subcompact, and CZ had said in a way that it was on its way, but couldn't necessarily confirm that because it hasn't been released. So that's a definite.
Full size also.
Yep. So
yeah,
who cares about the full size? I don't care.
Yeah.
Now
AB's on also.
In regards to the subject matter, hello, Coda Boy. Al, what's up? And what we wanted to bring up tonight was this new controversy. And I made mention of the video that probably nobody watched yesterday on the old Marlin. But the controversy over this Sig P320 drop. You know, I went on earlier today to look at the videos. There were 2 videos actually that I found. One on YouTube where this guy doesn't say a word and just drops it on a piece of plywood on his garage floor. And then there was another video, but that has now been deleted from YouTube. So I don't know what that was about. Once I dug up a little bit more information, what I found was that apparently what this all stemmed from was Dallas PD was training and somebody dropped, quote unquote, dropped their gun, and several officers reported that the gun fired. And as a result, Dallas PD has removed them from online, and now they contacted Sig, and Sig is all up in arms saying, okay, we're going to figure it out, blah, 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 blah. And then also they posted an image inside the manual that says that the gun is actually unsafe if dropped, and that you should only have a round in the chamber when you're ready to use it, which, you know, I don't know what that really means. But that's kind of the thing. That's the big controversy now, especially after doing a video on how great this gun was, you know.
Right. Yeah, and they replaced them. The Dallas PD replaced them with 226s, supposedly. So, and I mean, what's funny is before this even happened, I mean, this is what I'm carrying this week. So there it is. You know, I mean, hopefully I don't have to drop. Hopefully I don't have to drop it on the ground like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to keep carrying it. I don't know if I believe it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah. I am a natural.
I mean, we need more. We need more proof, and I think, you know, Sig, as we speak, probably Sig's bashing them on the ground and seeing what they can find with them. You know, I don't put a lot in it right now.
Okay, Mr. Roboto.
Breaking up there a little bit, brother. So
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead. Uh-oh.
Go ahead, KS. Say something.
All right. So I'm a natural skeptic, and I watched the video of the gentleman that took the gun, and hopefully people can see this okay. And he dropped it from, you know, 5-ish, 5.5 feet, something like that. Dropped it 3 times, and it landed in a couple of different ways. But the 3rd time it landed basically like this, I think, nose forward just a little bit, and the gun went off. And I was reading in several different forums and people offering different insights. A couple of people were saying a couple of things. We don't know what's been done to the gun, if any modifications whatsoever have been done, if the internals have been in any way changed from manufacturer spec. You know, could maybe yes, maybe no, we're not sure, but I'm highly skeptical of that. But then also they dropped it 3 times without any sort of a reset or anything like that. And I guess I kind of think, how often are we going to get to a place or a position where we're going to drop a gun from 5 feet, one right after the other, in that manner? I mean, to me, it was creating a situation that guns could potentially struggle with. Now, it could also be that the gun really did go off and the trigger safety mechanisms did not work properly. But I sort of think, I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Sig says about this and what they do about it.
It could also have been, you know, sabotaged by Glock.
Very true. Very true.
Glock's always throwing a wrench in something.
Those damn Austrians.
Gillian said that Sig just introduced the new VTAC and X-Carry pistols.
Yeah, that VTAC looks badass. I'm not so big on the X-Carry, but the VTAC looks pretty sweet.
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, the matter of fact, I looked at an X5 today, a used X5, the stainless steel version. It was a 9mm. Man, that thing was awesome. The guy who owns the gun shop, it was from his personal collection. And man, that thing is sweet with the trigger. Whew. But I have too many of those types right now.
Well, that's been around for a while.
Yeah, it has. I mean, this, you know how expensive they are. This was a pretty smoking deal for what it was. Whole grips. Yeah, the 320 does have a firing. Balding Curious is asking if it has a firing pin block. on the 320, and yes, it does, but who knows? I don't know. I'm just wondering if you took any other gun and bounced it off the concrete 3 times, what it would do.
I don't know. You know, supposedly they test the guns before they leave factories and test them for drop safe, you know, or drop fails and all that other stuff. So I you know what, I honestly, guys, what I think happened was they were training. A guy put his holster, or tried to holster his gun, shot the damn gun by accident, and everybody's covering up. Everybody's saying, "Oh no, he dropped it. It wasn't a negligence, you know, issue. It was just him. He dropped it by accident, and the gun went off." That's CYA, man. That's how it is sometimes. You know, you cover your ass and you know, and hope for the best.
Yeah, it could, you know, Sig's over this. I mean, they're going to be, you know, I mean, we'll probably see some stuff come out, and probably some other, you know, videos, literature. I'm sure Sig Academy will probably put it through a test too. You know, I mean, as far as any gun, I wouldn't want to just be standing there and dropping it. I mean, I would want to be behind something and hold him on. I don't care what the hell brand it was, because you just never know.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. Bald is saying with firing pin block, way too many things have to go wrong before that would happen, and I totally agree with that. I mean, I think we've come far enough with modern, especially striker-fired firearms with safeties built in that at least the more reputable brands, with the amount of R&D and testing that they do before they put it to market, I would hope would battle this.
I mean, the only other thing that could have possibly happened with the drop is, you know, because there is no trigger on this, or safety on the trigger, that maybe when he dropped it, something hit the trigger inadvertently, setting the gun to go off. I mean, there's a bunch of factors involved in that, but I mean, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of any other 320 that's been out for years ever, you know, failing a drop test or accidentally discharging if it's been dropped. Although I'm not in the habit of dropping my handgun, but you know.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't either. Let's see here. Any questions?
So, you know, I did a video on that Marlin, and you know, one of the reasons why I did the video was I didn't really want to do it because it's hard to do it in this room that I'm in, because I don't have a lot of room to do anything, really, to be honest with you. But I did a video on it because one of the things that I had been looking at was I was actually looking for an AR this time, and I actually contacted Coda Boy and got some information from him because I consider him a pretty knowledgeable guy when it comes to the AR platform. And you know, I asked him what I could, you know, what was affordable. I didn't want to pay a crazy amount of money, so I was looking at like DPMS and all these other, you know, ARs, and I found a decent one. It was about $450. And I call up my local gun shop. I said, "How much would this cost me?" Blah 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 blah. And he says, "Well, it would cost you this much. The problem is when I get it, I have to put in labor and all these ridiculous things in regards to like the new buttstock and, you know, maybe sealing the mag or pinning the mag so you can't do anything with it." And I was like, "How much is that going to cost?" So he said anywhere from like maybe $175 to $200 extra. So I said, "I'm not willing to do that," you know. So I looked at some of the you know, ARs that were there that had the weird buttstock to it and everything, and I held it and I was like, it's just not worth it, you know. For me personally, you know what, I'm not going to sit there and shove you know, ammo into a chamber that I shouldn't have to if it has a releasable mag. I'm not going to sit there and try to, you know, tweak my wrist to shoot at a strange angle just to say I have an AR. So I decided not to do that. Instead, I decided to go with something like this. And you know, 7 in the tube, 1 in the chamber. It's 8 rounds. It's pretty light. You know, it's movable, maneuverable, I guess you could say. And it's pretty awesome. So I'm real happy that I got another Marlin. So that's why I got it.
I think it's really cool looking. You don't see many lever action with red dots on them.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
I'm excited about shooting that.
What's that?
Shooting that Savage I have too. When I saw yours, I was like, man, I need to jump all over that, get my Savage going. Yeah.
And then Wicked is saying he'll build me one, but unfortunately you're going to have to castrate it to send it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, everybody calls it a cowboy gun. I mean, Jesus saying, "Oh, cowboy," but you know what? This is one of the like if you pull this.
Yeah,
gun,
you know, when I did that video, the speeds.
Dude, what do you have, like mice spinning on a wheel to power your internet? Is he frozen?
I'm in the freaking so it sucks. It pisses me off. I guess, you know, all the little kids are picking it up. Sorry.
It's all good.
And I'm like I said, I apologize.
So
oh
boy.
Go ahead.
All right. So
am I like breaking up really?
All right.
Really
so here's what I'm going to say. Stop talking.
bad?
Stop talking for 5 seconds. Don't say anything. Okay. So what I was going to say, and just finish up with it, and we'll move to something else, whatever you guys want to talk about, was that, you know, everybody considers it not very threatening of a looking gun. And I'll be honest with you, I have no problem carrying this in a kind of a terrible situation. Everything goes crazy. You know, I mean, the round that goes through this, the 30-30, it's as good as a 7.62 by 39. So in my opinion, this is as valid as any other gun. Now, does it shoot as much and as fast as reload? No, but you know, if this is what you got, it's better than nothing.
You got to ankle carry that thing.
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna buy one of those. What is that leather thing where I move as silent as a Navy SEAL?
Yes, that's it.
And yeah, Coda Boy, this is the Venom. What is it? The Vector Venom? I don't know. I can't remember.
No, Vortex Venom.
Vortex Venom. That's what it is. Vortex Venom. So that's what I put on there. It's got the scout rail on it, so you can push all your optics up front. So I could put a magnifier in the front, put this on the back, or just get a regular scope and then just carry it that way. Which, by the way, if you guys are looking at a good setup for rifles, you might want to check out the Scout type of rifle, because I do like the way those are set up.
Hey,
John. I was just going to say.
Sorry, go ahead, Big J.
No, I was just saying I'm really excited about setting up my Scout rifle too. You know, just I want to get out and start doing some longer range stuff, especially outside. You know, when it gets cooler, I want to start getting out there.
Blue ball.
Huh?
Okay.
Look at Pop's comment.
Which one?
Saying talking into the blue ball.
Here you go. Hey, everybody shut up. So John S. has a question for everybody. This is a great question. He's been contemplating on which gun chambered in 45 is better, the FNX Tactical or the P227. And that's a great question. What do you guys think?
I don't own any 45, so I'll pass that off to both of you.
Okay, say one more time. I'm sorry.
So John S. has been contemplating which 45 is better, the FNX Tactical or the P227. What do you think?
You know what's really funny about this? Literally, not even, and you can even ask, he'll probably say something. Coda Boy and I were talking about this 1 hour ago. Question that was just asked. And I love my FNX 45. I used to have the Tactical and sold it, and then I have the FNX, you know, the dark slide with the, and I love it. I mean, it's a great pistol, and Sig makes a hell of a pistol too. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. It's which one you're going to like, is the way that I could put it. It has great texturing right off the bat. Some Sigs, you got to change the, you know, some people say they're slick. Some people, you know, I think it's just a personal preference, honestly, but you can't go wrong with the FNX with 15+1. Like a 4+4 extension for the FNX. I don't know about the Sig.
I would go with the Sig. I'm a Sig fan. I love the 226 and 229. I've never shot a 227, but they are essentially the same for all intents and purposes. The only FNX I've ever shot had a can on it, so I didn't get a real good feel for what it was like all by itself. Although with the can, probably one of the funnest pistols I've ever shot. But I'm a big fan of the 226 variant platform. I think they are a ton of fun. They really are.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And I mean, even the AREX, you know, I have the AREX and 17, you know, and the AREX is a great pistol too for the price. If somebody can't just jump right into a Sig 226, I mean, the AREX is a great pistol on its own. And the mags are only $25, you know, and you've shot mine before too.
Yeah, I was a fan.
I think they're
we had another question out there, and this was directed at 1776. Which would you carry if you could only carry one? The Steyr M9, the Glock 19, the P10C, or the P01?
Ooh, that's a good call. If I can only carry one, shit. Man, it's so tough. You know, I love the P01. You know, the 320 is good. What were the other options? The Glock and the Steyr?
P10 or Steyr or Glock.
P10 is, man, that's all. And I can't carry all of them, huh?
Nope.
Boy. I mean, if it was like if it was like an end of the world situation where I had to leave and everybody's killing each other on the street.
If you just have to pick one.
Listen, I got to overthink this. Leave me alone. I'm thinking probably the Glock 19 only because of how many people own them.
Yeah, available mags would probably be everywhere. If it was an into the SHTF situation, hell, I'd grab a Glock 19 too.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, I'd go with the P01. It's just such a great gun.
I would be somewhere between the Glock 19. I mean, you guys know I'm certainly a Glock fan, not fanboy, but it would be between that or the P10, one or the other. The only reason I would choose the Glock over the P10 is the P10 does not have readily available, easily attainable night sights right now, and that for me, unfortunately, is a carry killer if I had to choose. So I would go with the Glock 19. Either way, all four of those guns are fantastic. The Steyr is a tremendous gun. I had a conversation with a guy earlier today at work, and he just shot a Steyr for the first time, and he was blown away by how much fun it was to shoot. And amen, that's true. There is, to me, one criticism of the Steyr, and only one. The reset's a little bit stinky, but when you get the gun going, who cares about reset? It doesn't matter. I mean, it just shoots like a dream.
I agree. Yeah, the Steyr's a great gun.
Yeah, Christian, he's saying on the hides for the cowhide or the horse hide for the holsters, if he does a hybrid, which one should he get, horse or cowhide? And I vote for horse hide all day long. They don't absorb moisture like regular cowhide does. They're more resistant to that, put it that way.
Huh. Cool.
Crushed down as much as standard leather. A lot more to allow a break-in for horsehide.
Huh.
So I've got, a couple of holster horsehide. Let's see here. I'm not sure I can go wrong with either. Are y'all there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, I just heard crickets for a second.
Look, we were thinking we were going to say something great.
Now, one of the questions, you didn't finish his question. He was asking actually also about the Omega trigger and the standard trigger. Mm-hmm. And is it wrong to have two PO1s?
You're asking the guy who's got two PPQs.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't think it's wrong to have two PO1s. I don't think it's wrong to have
two of anything. I mean, it's all replaceable, swappable parts. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Plus familiarity with the platform. Now, I don't have the Omega trigger on the PO1. I have it on the PO7, and I don't really see a huge improvement. I actually like the curved trigger better. I just feel like the pad of my finger fits exactly where it needs to be every time. I don't know what it is about the Omega trigger. It just seems a little thin, a little flimsy, and the curved trigger just has a little bit more, I guess you could say, more of a solid feel. So I actually like the curved trigger, but either one you can't go wrong with. Either one.
I think it's going to be based on his hand size too. I mean, I have big hands, and I really do like the Omega trigger better personally on the PO7, PO9, other Omega setups, but I mean, the PO1 trigger is not bad. Honestly, even in your single action, the Omega, when you test it, the Omega is lighter, but it's going to be the preference to whatever he likes, I mean, it's so reminiscent of the regular standard SPO1, just a smaller version of it, where that's not available in the Omega anyway. Mm. So I guess it's which one's going to fit his hand or work with his finger better. What do you think, KS?
As far as like the Omega trigger?
Well, yeah, you've got the P07 and the Omega, and then you had the P01 with the standard. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, the Omega all day long. I really enjoyed the SP01. I didn't enjoy the P01 as much. I thought it was going to be a lot more comfortable to shoot because I usually prefer compact, or I guess subcompact, or even single stack guns over larger guns, generally speaking. That was polar opposite with the SP01 versus P01, but they both have, of course, the same that super curved trigger. But the P07 I would take above both of those. The trigger, and then also I think the ergonomics are just a little bit better on the P07 for what I'm used to. So that the P07 is by far my choice.
Yeah, you might be the first person I've ever heard say that.
Yeah, well, I was gonna. Well, here, but think about this, and that's where I was just going with this. You know, I think the P01 grip is better for me, or I like it better. But the P07's not bad. But what the P07 reminds me of, just the grip, not the angle, but just a little bit of the grip, is just a little bit thinner Glock grip. And I'm wondering if that's why you might. I mean, not the. You know, not the. I mean, of course, it's more ergonomic, I believe, but you know, it's a little more blocky, and I'm wondering if that's maybe what you think, KS, or maybe what your hands are used to.
I'm sure that's right. I bet you're exactly right. The SP01 was reasonably comfortable, but for whatever reason, the P07 just feels much better. It's much more reminiscent to the types of guns that I'm used to. I think you're spot on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and Paradox has a good question. He says, any of you guys that own the P01 ever experienced the trigger slap I've been reading about?
No.
I would say no.
Yeah, I haven't either. You know, I mean, when you pull the trigger wants to go forward. I mean, but it doesn't like just jump out and bang your hand. I mean, I've never even noticed it about it a long time ago. I was like, what the hell? I've never experienced it, but I have heard of people saying.
I've never seen it, never heard it. Never. I mean, at all. I mean, it's got a nice reset, but it's not a very forceful reset up forward. Like, I still think the PPQ probably has the biggest push forward of any reset on any handgun that I own.
Well, I think the AREX has the biggest I've ever felt. That thing really kicks out there. But also, I ride my reset. I mean, I really work the reset. Do you?
Who, me?
On the P01?
It depends what I'm shooting. I mean, if I'm trying to go slow, yes. If I'm like running for my life and shooting someone, no. But I haven't had to do that.
Well,
so.
that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if the person that's talking about the triggers is not super familiar with the reset, and maybe they're letting it extend all the way, and you've got the forward spring on it where it's going to kick.
Right.
You know, any gun will do that. You know, like a double action, single action. If you're not riding the reset, that's why even in a fast shoot, I still ride the reset. I don't let the trigger go all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Even shooting fast, I catch it.
Right.
So I'm wondering if maybe that's what he's talking about with trigger slap.
Well, you guys know how I shoot. I shoot a little quicker, much more defensive style. And although I don't really experience trigger slap, I don't ride the reset. Now, that's probably why I'm a little bit more wild in my shooting. I'm not quite as centered on the target. Whatever, wish I was, but I mean, the trigger certainly goes much further out from the reset than it probably should. But again, I'm shooting fast, and I think when you get into a situation where you are shooting quickly and the adrenaline's flowing and that sort of thing, you're going to be slapping the trigger. I think most people, except for the most highly trained competitive shooters that shoot, 5,000 rounds a month or whatever, most people are going to be doing that.
Yeah, but you know what? It also depends on the type of shooter. I mean, I love how everybody always says, "Well, I train 15 hours a week on a in a nice field or some crap like that." But how do you know how you're really going to react? I know everybody always believes training, but how do you really know until you're in that situation? Until your adrenaline is up there. In my opinion, the only people who know are the ones who spent time overseas in the military, were engaged in combat with the enemy. They, to me, have probably the most, I guess you could say, credibility of anyone else. I mean, standing in the middle of a rock driveway shooting targets that are static is not the same thing as someone coming at you with another gun or a knife or a club or something else like that, because you don't know how your adrenaline is going to switch you on or off. I mean, that's just the reality of things. And I think people get so caught up in this idea, you know, they see, oh, well, this guy's a trainer. Okay, so great. How does that person actually react in a real live firefight? If he doesn't have any experience in that, you know, in my opinion, how reliable is his word? You know, that's the way I look at it. And I can't say, because I've never been involved in a firefight.
Right.
Right. I totally agree with that. Or if you're walking, you know, if you're walking somewhere, I mean, you know, we all tend to look around our bodies, our six and everything, seeing if anybody's following us. But hell, if you're walking, somebody could just, you're in a treed area, somebody could jump out of a tree and land on your back. You know, you don't know what the hell you're going to do.
Right.
You know? Then it's fight or flight. I mean, you're fighting, shooting, doing whatever you can do.
No, that's exactly right. Hopefully you've got some fundamentals that can help see you through it, and you can at least get that front sight on your target, and hope for the best. So Jesus is God asked a question a moment ago. Actually, this was directed at me. He asked, "Do you use a timer for rapid fire like Jerry Michalek? If so, what are some of your times?" Thank you first for putting me in the same sentence with Jerry. That's pretty badass, and that probably is the highlight of my life right there. But I do not use a shot timer, but in editing all my videos, you start to get a really good idea of how long frames take. And if I put a segment of two shot bursts of 10 rounds per magazine, and it's about 30 seconds. So I'm shooting at about maybe 1 to 1.5 seconds per shot. And that's pretty average for me when I shoot. And again, whether that's good habit, bad habit, your mileage may vary there, but that's about how quickly I shoot generally.
I'm just reading some.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I bought that shot timer, and I've been kind of playing around with it, but I haven't gotten that thing down, get to the range and truly test it out. But Ball just made a comment. It's in my first IDPA competition. You know, once they got that, it's, you know, it's just a whole different ball game. You know, and I guess that is one way to train to where it would be speed induced or something like that.
Yeah,
but you're right.
I mean, I'm looking at Wicked's comments, and he's, you know, telling Ball that it doesn't really, you know, compare. I agree, you know, with Wicked on this one. You know, again.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I do too. That's where I was going with it. I think it's just as far as speed shooting, like somebody like you were saying that's standing at a target like we do, and we just go bang, 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 bang. But when it's speed induced, that's going to help. But you're right. In Wicked's situation that he's been in and other people, yeah, nothing compares to that. I mean, Ball's a great shooter and stuff, but you throw him out there in that, who the hell knows what's going to happen? You know, or Humble or one of those guys.
17, you were saying?
I was just saying that the reason why I agree with Wicked is, and again, I have no combat experience whatsoever. You know, I've been in some bad situations on a fire department where people were shooting at us, but I didn't have a gun. I had an air pack, and that wasn't going to do anything. But you know, I can even remember in the academy, in the fire academy, you know, they put you in certain situations. They put you in this backdraft chamber, in this flashover chamber, and all this other crap that simulates the real thing. And I will tell you, after having an experience of a flashover where I saw people's ears melting and helmets melting and all this other stuff, it doesn't even come close. The situation, the anxiety, the fear, the reaction, everything is, I mean, the best way I can describe it, it's like you've taken speed, cocaine, and 18 cups of coffee with Red Bull. And next thing you know it's over. And you try to kind of rehash in your mind how fast it went. And everybody says, oh, it went faster than that. I mean, so I can only imagine what it would be like to be in that situation. You know, I'm glad I've never had to do it. But yeah, I mean, I can see why people would want to practice shooting fast. The thing I was trying to get at was shooting fast and reacting are two different things. You know, you can put up a target, beep goes off, you can shoot, boom, 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 boom. Great. However, in a situation where somebody's shooting back at you, where you have multiple attackers, where, you know, you have somebody as well armed, if not more armed than you, that situation is totally different. And I don't see many people having the real credentials to say they have that experience. So, I mean, like if Wicked had a training school, I'd want to train with Wicked. Why? Because he's got real life practical experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think combat experience and all of that is on a level that most people can't even begin to fathom, and no movie or video game or whatever could possibly put you in the, and I can't even imagine, man. I can't even imagine. And I've got so much respect for people, whether it's military or law enforcement, that have been in those types of situations where it's really your life or theirs, and you know, you're trying to look out for your buddies. That's a totally different universe, without question. Now, from a civilian standpoint, from a non-combat standpoint, competition training, whether it's you know, USPCA, IDPA, whatever it happens to be, it at least is a good way for you to get some experience where you are elevating your heart level, where you are getting some adrenaline. You're under time. Your people are watching. You might be shooting alongside other people. When I've competed, there have always been two people shooting at the same time. You're running and gunning for the same targets and trying to beat them. So you're trying to think about fundamentals, and you're you know, all of those types of things, and you might be in low light situations or whatever, and it's pretty fun. It can be pretty exciting and a lot of adrenaline, but it in no way, shape, or form could possibly be an analog for a life or death situation. But from a civilian standpoint, I think it is a great way to get a little bit of heightened experience from somebody who just goes and shoots 100 rounds at the range every 6 months or whatever. So they're two very different worlds, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So Coda Boy is asking, we turn the subject back to guns. I want to turn the subject back to Coda Boy's hair. My God, man. Dude, you look like a freaking hot mess in your last couple of videos, buddy. It was
well, it's hot.
I mean, I'm a little jealous. Yeah. I don't have any hair, but I mean, man, whew. Got to brush that.
Yeah, and I guess Coda Boy shooting his P09 earlier. I have the P09. Okay, yeah, P09's a great gun. Wicked. Oh, here we go. I train with Jaeger, but I wouldn't put up with the retarded way they treat you. I've had a lifetime of being treated like dog shit. Yeah, I bet he
Coda Boy, it's a brush. Brush your hair. Brush it. Comb it.
Oh, good times.
I don't have hair, man. So I don't even know what to say. I got no hair.
Yeah. You can just grow your eyebrows out and flip them over the top of your head.
Yeah, I was actually going to cut my armpit hair and, you know, glue it to my top.
That would be hot.
Yeah.
I'll send you some when I get a haircut. I'll send you what's on the floor.
Cycle the lever. Ready? Gotta love that sound, boys and girls.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Do it like the rifleman.
Oh, just kind of
hold it on your hip.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, and Wicked is bringing up, you know, you want excellent training, go to Thunder Ranch. You will learn, you know, under stress. And I've watched the Thunder Ranch videos, and man, Clint is a badass. That guy is, he is a badass.
He's funny.
Oh yeah, he is, and he didn't take any shit off anybody either. That's what I like. He's not a pretend. He's a real.
You think he has a PayPal account? I had to say it. I'm sorry. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
No, I do like Thunder Ranch videos, man. Good stuff.
Subs might. Well, I don't know.
No, I'm not saying anything. You can.
Walk away. Walk away. Hey, so I got to give a quick update. So I've got the APX with me right now, and I got to tell you, this has been a surprisingly fantastic gun. I have been absolutely blown away by how great this gun is. It's a fun shooter. It's actually, the look has grown on me quite a bit. That dumb little dingus that comes up when you shoot it doesn't bother me anymore. It's a great gun, man. I recommend you guys go check this thing out. It is a worthwhile gun, and you could probably get it at a pretty reasonable price.
How many rounds do you have through it now?
About 450 at this point. I've taken it 3 times. I'll have a video coming out this weekend. I didn't want to sit on it any longer, but I want to spend some more time with it afterwards and probably do some updates. But the first time I shot it like ass, as I shot it along with the Nighthawk Custom, and that was a big mistake. But after I came back and dialed it in and kind of figured out how it shot for me, it reminds me of like a Smith & Wesson M&P. M&Ps to me are very soft shooters. They're very comfortable guns to shoot. I don't really like the triggers on those so much, but I like shooting them at the range. They're great range guns, and this, to me, is very similar to that, but with a much better trigger. It actually has a fantastic trigger. So I've been pleasantly surprised with this thing. So kudos to Beretta for putting out a gun that lost the military trial, but still is a pretty good gun.
Well, I have a question for you on that. Okay, because when you first got it, and I've dry fired them in the gun store, which doesn't mean a lot. So the trigger was a little weird. Has the trigger gotten better as you've shot it more and more? I mean, as far as feel and everything?
Yes, without question. The trigger is, I'll use a very weird term for this, but it seems to be maturing. It's getting a little bit crisper. It's getting lighter. It's very smooth. I mean, it is very smooth, and it's got a nice little snap and a nice reset. And the travel's not bad. I mean, it's a good gun. It is surprisingly good. I'm sort of mad at myself for walking away from it so many times before I finally said, screw it. I'll try it. Red and Black Dog, the Hudson, I don't know. Sure, maybe it's coming soon. I keep checking, and I'll keep you guys up to date. But Al, you're exactly right. It's like a fine wine. It took a while to grow on me. The first time I picked it up, I was so excited because I'd seen, I think, Mac's review and a couple of other people, and I really liked what they had to say. They had, by and large, really good reviews on it. And I picked it up, and I kind of thought, God, this thing is kind of clunky, and the back, I don't like the look of the back of the gun, where the back plate is. It's kind of ugly. And I put it down. But I kept coming back to it over and over again. And finally, the guys at Centerfire said, here, buy this. We're tired of you looking at it. And I did. And it has turned out to be just awesome. It's fantastic. Sean, APX or P10C if you could only have one. What do you guys think?
For me, I've held the APX. It's the best I've gotten, but I like the P10. I think the P10 is a better gun, but I don't own the APX.
Yeah, and I don't own either one of them, but I've played around with the P10 and I've held the Apex the APX. But like, to me, and I've told you about this, KS, the grip on the APX, it just feels too skinny to me, and you can't change that. It feels awesome to me in my hand. Just that, I don't know, it's kind of skinny, and then it gets fat on the APX, and it just feels weird to me. Yeah. Well, but we do have a quick question, and I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but Captain Phil says, has anyone purchased a caliber exchange unit for the P320?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, and I haven't either, because I don't know about where you guys are, but some of those caliber exchange kits are like, $395, and you can pretty much get a Sig, for $450, $500. So I'm like, I haven't justified doing it yet. I mean, I probably won't.
I like the way this looks just fine.
Yeah, he's meaning changing. Yeah, like you could buy the 9, change it to a 40. Now the 45 you have to get a whole different frame and setup, but you can go 9, 357, or 40.
Yeah, no, I just stick with the 9.
Yeah, I do too.
Exchange kit for $300. So I mean, that's a good deal. If you really want to do a different caliber and you love the P320 format, $300 to do it is actually a good deal. I would do it.
Well, I mean, I think there's a big thing in some states. You can only have so many firearms, actual true firearms listed. So buying a caliber kit, like think for example, in 17's area, he's got to go get the coupons and he's got to wait and wait and wait. He could just get a caliber exchange kit and get it the next day from Amazon or whoever, because it's not serialized. So if you're in a situation like that, I think that's a great idea.
Now, who knows how New York will probably change the law to deal with that too, which is kind of interesting that you brought that up. I had purchased a Vickers Glock, and it's going on, I think, 5 weeks this week, 5.5 weeks, and I haven't even gotten it yet from the county. So that's it's literally sitting in a gun shop, and I filled out all the paperwork, got everything done, and I've been waiting 5.5 weeks for them to send me my thing, so I can go pick it up, and then. I have another handgun that I just got. So I'll probably see that probably in January. If and when the Strike B ever comes back, I don't even know if I'm going to get it, to be honest with you, because the wait now is it's ungodly, man. And it's getting worse, not getting better, because it's based upon whether or not the judge wants to do it quick or slow. So they're just dragging their feet.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Captain Phil just said he could get one for $299. Like KS said, if it's $300, yeah, I'd get it. Especially a gun that you're familiar with, because you can even keep, like we have Apex triggers in ours. You can just use the same lower, or use your, you'll be able to change it over your fire control unit and still have your same trigger. Right. You don't have to buy other triggers. So I think the premise behind it's great. And we were talking about this KS, on that APX. Didn't we see that there's an updated trigger for the APX from Apex?
I didn't hear you said who from again?
Apex.
I have no. That'd be funny, an Apex trigger and an APX. I did not know that. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't change out the trigger on this. It's a great trigger and it's flat enough. I think it's a better trigger than probably 70% of the guns out there, out of the box anyway. Now, the one criticism I have, the safety dingus, it does protrude a little bit, so it doesn't make the trigger totally flat. If you shoot with the pad of your finger, you will feel that dingus. And now I don't shoot with the pad of my finger, so it doesn't bother me. But that is the one thing that's a little bit unusual about it. If you get used to that, no big deal. It's not a big deal at all. But really, I mean, the trigger is surprisingly good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
Chris, 17, we got a question from Chris. It says, can you elaborate more on the New York laws and the plight 1776 was talking about in his Vickers purchase?
Okay, so the laws in New York State are stupid because they signed something called the SAFE Act. It was after the shootings at Newtown in Connecticut, and our wonderful members of our New York State Congress and our beloved Governor Cuomo basically had a closed-door meeting at midnight and signed the legislation that, basically restricted a whole bunch of different rifles. Came up with this idea that you had to actually register things that were considered dangerous rifles. So like anything that looked like an AR, an AK in the traditional form had to be registered. And if it wasn't registered, it had to be sold, because if you're caught with it and it wasn't registered or sold, then you will actually be committing a felony. Awesome. On top of that, mag restrictions came into play. So you couldn't have any high cap mags. So we're relegated to 10-round magazines. Also on top of that, when you go to get a pistol, you basically, how it works is you pay for your pistol, you take your receipt up to your local county sheriff's office. The sheriff's office, usually how it worked for my county was they look at the paperwork, they make you sign an affidavit saying that you haven't been convicted of any felonies or anything else. And you check that box saying, no, you haven't. And next thing you know it, they print out this little green card. It's like a coupon with your serial number on it and with the signature, or at that time, it was the stamp of the judge. Then you have to drive back to the gun store, give them the green coupon, and then they conduct your background check. And when you pass the background check, they give you your pistol finally. So it's a pretty ridiculous process just to get a handgun. And every time you add a handgun, it's the same exact process. So what they decided to do in my county was very good with it. It was the same day you go up, the same day you get your coupon. However, other counties were bitching and moaning. So they basically ratted our county out, saying that the judges weren't actually signing it, that somebody was stamping it. So one of the district courts in New York State basically placed a smackdown on our county and other counties around the area, saying, no, now every judge that's sitting has to physically look at them and physically sign them. So that you can imagine the backlog that's going on. So what went from same day in and out is now going 5, 6, 7, however many weeks. And there's no end in sight. And there's nothing on the book saying that, it's a 6-day waiting period or a 90-day waiting. It's whatever the judges want to do.
And see, so that's what's asinine.
Sorry.
That one thing I've always said about this, that's asinine because you're a CHL holder. Mm-hmm. You've already been checked. You've already gone through all the bullshit, just like all three of us have. Mm-hmm. But yet you have to tolerate that kind of shit. So that what they should do is give good guys their guns and then hold the other people to a different standard. There should be 2 levels of that if they're going to pull that bullshit.
Right. And what a lot of people are arguing is the fact that the reason why they're doing this is to make sure that if a gun owner has committed a crime or whatever it is, maybe a domestic or something like that, then they wouldn't be able to get their handguns. But that would happen anyway, because if they have charges put on them, once they do the background check, that'll be a red flag and you wouldn't be able to get your gun anyway. But what it is basically them making sure they control guns, period. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's a control thing, totally. Because I know that KS and I can back up to any gun store, go in, hand them our CHL, fill out the quick form. They don't even have to run it when we have a CHL. And we can just buy as many guns as we want on one purchase, load them in the truck, and drive off.
Mm-hmm.
There's a caveat to that. Unfortunately, we can do that, and we can. I mean, I think the most guns I bought at one time were 3. However, not long after that, I learned that you can get the attention, at least here in Kansas, you can get the attention of your local sheriff pretty quickly. Especially now, it depends if you're buying a Marlin, a P226, and a 22 long rifle pistol or something. Probably nobody is going to give you any trouble. Nobody's going to question it. Nobody cares. It probably looks like a personal purchase. If you buy 3 Glock 19s all at the exact same time, there is a very, very good chance somebody's going to be knocking on your door within 24 hours wondering why you bought 3 of the exact same gun at the exact same time. So they do keep an eye on that sort of thing, although I think they try and take into account what you're buying.
Mm-hmm. Now, Red and Black Dog made a comment saying that at some point a bunch of dudes wearing black are going to bust into my room while I'm filming this. And it's kind of interesting you said that, because as I was reading online last night, because I'm trying to see if anything has moved forward in the legislature to try to end this ridiculousness that we're dealing with right now. There was a comment on this forum, and the guy was saying that in his county they just enacted this new rule that once you apply for your permit and you get your permit, at any time that local government and the local sheriff can actually request a search of your house.
Jeez,
that's insane. Like, and people, it's unfortunate. You know what? Here's the bottom line of New York State. There's a lot of good people living in New York State, but what's happening is the state is losing so many people because they're all moving. They're getting out of here, the ones who can. And the people who are left are just being completely run over by, and I don't want to sound like an idiot, but let's be honest, by people who don't work hard, by people who don't necessarily share the same values, that the Constitution talks about. And that's basically what's happened to New York. They always say that crap flows downstream. And unfortunately, we're defying gravity because it's all flowing upstream into New York.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't ever have any of those shit. I don't, that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Yeah, and Bald is saying it's all about the money. For New York, because every time he, mails it in, it's, they're collecting a fee.
Yeah, I wanted to try to be delicate with that, Wicked.
Hey, 1776, Paul is asking a question about, have you ever heard of Viper holsters? They're a hybrid holster. Let's see. So leather laminated onto Kydex. He says they look cheesy, but they are very comfortable.
I haven't heard of them. I'll be honest with you. I have a ton of holsters, and I'm not in the market to buying anymore. And so as a result, if somebody wants to send me something, I'll take it. But I'm not putting money towards holsters anymore. If I look at it from the standpoint, if I get another gun that I don't have a holster for already, then I would definitely consider it. But I'm just not in the market for that. You know, I'm looking at other things. You know, I got to start getting some scopes, because I actually not only got this one, but I got something else, and I'm going to show that at a later time. I don't know. I'm not going to say it tonight, but definitely got another one. And it's not a Marlin, and it's not a lever action, and it's not a bolt action.
Ooh. All right. Interesting. What else? Does anybody have anything else?
I got nothing. We're coming up to our 5-minute roll call. So, I mean, if you guys want to say something or any last minute questions or whatever, you know, feel free to ask them now. And we'll kind of end it off on that.
Yeah.
You guys want to add anything? Got anything coming up? Any big news?
Yes, I've got the putter, you know, on there for C-Max. So please, if anyone's a golfer, please go on and check that out. It is on the eBay site. You can go to the Scotty Cameron video I did. I've added the eBay the eBay link on there. If anybody wants to go in and check it out, go to C-Max himself. So, you know, I think it's got like 8.5 days left on it. There's already bids on it. So, you know, I figured that would be a wider area than just, you know, gun guys. That way golfer people could, you know, get on it too. Also, you know, check out Abaddon Apparel. We've got a shirt on there for C-Max. 100% of the proceeds go to that. Our shirts on there also. And, you know, that's not only a shirt site, that's also a Second Amendment site. Blogs, links. Abaddon's done a great job on setting that up. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's really for all of us just to check it out. So check the site out.
KS, what do you got?
We've got some new guns wheeling in. Of course, the APX, Sig P320 is another one that's coming up. And then a special gun from Good Buddy in New York. That'll be coming up. More on that. Then 2 new guns, totally new guns. Of course, the Hudson you guys know about. And then a surprise gun. It's on back order, but I hope to see it very soon. A brand I have not messed around with for 5 or 6 years now, so I'm excited to try this out.
High Point.
And see what's going on there. So I won't say any more about that. I second the Abaddon Apparel shirt. Go check out that CZ Mafia for Life shirt for C-Max. That's freaking awesome. I can't sponsor that enough. Frankly, I ordered 2 of those, and of course I ordered 2 of my own shirts too. But the CZ Mafia for Life ones are awesome, because I can walk around the street with that, and people will come up to me and say, "What in the world does that mean?" So that's pretty sweet. So check all that stuff out. We're excited about that. Man, as always, thank you, every single one of you, for joining us. We absolutely love this. It's become a real group thing, and we appreciate every one of you.
So to end it off, I just want to say I'm glad I'm back tonight. We actually needed some talent, so that's why I'm back. And I'm glad to see all you guys again, and listen to your comments as Big J shakes his head. It's so funny. But anyway, I got a couple of guns. Keep looking at it. It's beautiful, right? You know, I got a couple of guns on the way. It's actually interesting, but they're both Glocks. One is the Vickers Glock. The other one is a Gen 4 Glock 19, but it's sort of a special one. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the best looking guns that I've ever owned, and I can't believe I'm saying that about a Glock. Like I said, I'll probably have that by Christmas. And if the Strike B gets out, you know, if you're waiting for me to do a review on it, you're probably going to see it a hell of a lot faster by other people, because they'll have it before me, thanks to my beloved state of New York. Again, like the other 2 gentlemen said on the channel, Abaddon Apparel, check them out. You know, guys, you don't have to buy our t-shirts, but definitely support C-Max. CZ Mafia for Life t-shirts are available. You know, Abaddon's done a great job with it. You know, what better way to help people out than getting something back as well? So you get a nice t-shirt, you get to help out somebody who could use it. And, you know, that's all I have to say about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you here next week. And I think it's on what? KS, is that on your channel?
I think so.
Okay, so it'll be on KS's channel, and we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everyone. Carry on.
Have a great night.